Good morning. Thanks for joining me for this 30-minute practice. Let's greet the day with courage and joy. All right, so this morning we're going to greet the sun with a few sun salutations followed by a standing sequence with poses mostly activating the first 4 chakras. Then we'll cultivate the energy of sacrifice with 5 kriya exercises. And lastly, we will align with an energy of support for new beginnings like this morning with the Ganesha mudra. So grab your mat, grab your water, cueing fairly quickly. So coming to mountain pose, Tadasana on the mat. You can circle your hands up, coming and then lower into prayer. We begin with some spinal twists and bends. You can lean to one side, notice the bend. And come to center. And we're going to shift and lean to the other side, coming to the center. And we're going to arms back up and cactus, heart up to the sky. Arms back up. Hands lower into prayer, rising the arms up, twisting to one side. Exhale, arms back up, inhale. And exhale on the other side, looking to the rear, arms back up, returning to prayer. We're going to circle the arms up before we forward fold dive, hands greeting the earth on the mat. You can bend your knees slightly in this first forward fold. Might be a little stiff. Hands halfway up. Forward fold. Jump or step forward. Arms into a strong plank. Steady. Prepare to lower into chaturanga. Upward, rising into upward dog. Inhale. Greeting the sky with our hearts, untucking the toes, tucking the toes lower into downward dog. First downward dog of the practice, you can pedal your knees out, your heels. Just notice any stiffness. And when you're ready, jump or step to the front of the mat, halfway up, forward fold, rising into mountain pose. Arms back into prayer, arms back up, forward fold, and halfway up, stepping back into plank. Lower to chaturanga, upward facing dog. Inhale. And exhale, lower into downward facing dog. And bending the knees to step or jump forward. Standing and rising into mountain pose. Arms overhead, back into prayer. Arms back up. Sitting into chair pose. Strong foundation, forward fold. Hands greet the mat. Halfway up, hands on the floor, stepping back into plank, lowering into chaturanga, upward facing dog. Inhale, do a little wiggle if you want, and exhale, lower into downward facing dog. And take one leg, step forward, rising into warrior one, arms overhead. Lower, dive down, arms reach the earth, the mat. Plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog. You can do another little wiggle if you like. And lowering into downward dog. Stretching, looks like someone wants to join me. Other leg rises and steps forward into warrior one. Arms overhead. Arms dive back down the mat. Stepping back into plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog. Inhale. And exhale, downward dog. Okay, And rising up into Tadasana, sitting back into chair. And forward fold and coming back, arms up, and next sequence. So arms overhead into Tadasana and arms down. We're going to inhale, step back into warrior one. Drop your back heel down, arms connect to the sky. Feeling into the heart space, feeling courage. Shoulders away from the ears. Make sure toes are pointing forward. Pressing the heel. Back heel, press into the outer edge of the foot, stack knee over ankle, squeezing and hug the outer thigh into the midline of the body, feeling buoyancy in the hips, circling the arms to chest, bending the knees, step back with one leg, open hips to warrior two, front heel in line with back arch, knee is over the ankle, hips open at 45 degrees, notice the knees, thigh parallel to the mat, knee is over ankle. Lifting the torso out of the hips, create space between the thigh and the hip bone, rolling outer thigh down and under. All right, we're going to tilt our hips, stepping back, preparing for a triangle, rolling the front thigh under, pressing into the front toe mound. Press the back foot straight back, pull the front femur bone into hip, turn, open the chest, rib cage open, hip into 45 degrees, ribs and chest are opening. Enjoy this rotation. Staring up at the sky. Your drishti could be up at the sky. It could also be down to your toes. All right, lower, rising, arms up, preparing for pyramid. You can grab blocks if you're not warm. Similar heel to heel alignment as warrior one. Your back heel is at 45 degrees. Straighten the hips, forward fold into pyramid. Inhale, lower into pyramid. Exhale, pressing into the ball of the foot, the front foot, keeping a soft bend in the knees. If you need more stability, you can walk the front foot away from the center line, pulling your front hip backward and your back hip forward. Both hips in one line like headlights in a car. Back hip down, forward hip into alignment, squeeze the outer and hug the outer thighs. All right, arms rise. We're transitioning into warrior two. Step back into heel to heel alignment at the foundation, bending deeply into the front leg. The lower you can be, the deeper the twist. So the back heel on the ground makes the twist harder. If you lift your heel off, it makes this twist easier. I'm going to lift the heel off into Anjane asana, I believe. Cartwheeling the arms up, back heel off the ground. Arms can lower when we're ready into prayer position. We're just feeling into this strength of this pose, getting comfortable. Okay, arms into prayer, and we're ready to rotate from the ribs into twisted lunge, hooking the elbow on the outside of the front leg. Push the knee into the elbow. Push the top hand into the bottom hand to achieve a lift. Press down into your big toe and the front foot. Pull the hip of the forward leg backwards to gain length into the rear leg's hip. Comes forward. Excellent. Just enjoy this twist, this detoxification. And untwist, stepping forward into chair. Arms rise up into Tadasana. Now other side. All right, arms up into Tadasana. We are preparing to step back again into warrior one position. Arms to the sky, connecting with the heart space, feeling that courage for the day. Shoulders away from the ears, making sure toes are pointing forward, pressing the back heel into the outer edge of the foot, stacking the knee over the ankle. Feel the buoyancy in the hips. And your arms are going to come down to the chest as we realign to warrior two. Front heel in line with back arch, knee over ankle. Notice the knees, thighs parallel to the mat, lifting the torso out of the hips, creating space between thigh and hip bone. Looking out over the fingertips, breathing. And when we're ready, we're going to prepare for triangle next pose by shortening our steps. So looking down at my feet And tilting the hips and rolling the front thigh under. Yep, okay. Pressing the front toe mound, pressing the back foot straight back. Eyes can be to the sky, to the sky, or down to the fingers on the ground. Those two drishti points, depending on where you need stability. All right, arms circling back up into pyramid, similar heel to heel alignment. Lower into pyramid. Exhale, pressing to the ball of the front foot, keeping a soft bend in the knees. If you need more stability, you can walk the front foot away from the center line. But rising the arms up, and we're going to transition into warrior two. Same heel to heel alignment, breathing deeply into that front leg. Drishti looking over those front fingertips, heeling off the ground makes this twist easier. So cartwheeling the arms up, back heel off the ground. Inhale. And arms lowering to prayer position. We're going to prepare to rotate from the ribs into twisted lunge, hooking the elbow on the outside of the front leg. We're going to be pressing the two hands together to get that lift. Pressing down to your big toe in the front foot. Oh, you can fly your arms out if that's a trick, if that's accessible. But pulling the hip of the forward leg backward to gain length, and the rear leg's hip come forward. All right, untwisting, stepping forward, rising arms up into Tadasana, arms down. Okay, circling the arms up, forward fold, stepping back into plank, tabletop, leaning back into child's pose, dropping onto the heels, taking a breath, maybe, some side-to-side action if that feels good. We're going to rise into our tabletop and shift into easy pose to prep for our kriya sequence. All right. Okay, our first kriya exercise. Sitting in easy pose, spine straight, chest lifted, touching the fingertips together towards the sky to form a tent. My hand has a damaged finger, so disregard that irregularity. Holding this mudra at the level of the chin, chant, God and me and God are one. You can follow along, aloud, or in your mind. Keep the fingers pressed tightly together as we chant. God and me and God are one. 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 Okay, second exercise. We're locking the middle fingers of both hands together at the chest level, pulling the fingers as hard as you can, maintaining a constant pull. We're holding for 90 seconds. Keep it up. Okay, third exercise. An easy pose, straight spine, grasping both wrists with opposite hands. Behind the head, pull the hands and forearms down, holding the position with long, deep breathing for 3 minutes. Here we go. Okay, this fourth kriya exercise, we're going to drop the right hand behind the upper spine and bring the left hand behind me at the level of the heart center with the palm facing away, grasping the fingertips of each hand. If this is not accessible, you can grab a strap between each hand behind you in the hold, getting as close to those fingers as you can. Inhale. Exhale deeply. Hold the breath cycle out. Pull the navel lock tightly. We're repeating this breath and lock cycle for 3 minutes. Let's go. We are concluding this kriya, extending the legs in front of you, bending from the hips, lean forward towards the toes, grab them if you can. I have my legs slightly bent to keep from hyperextension, holding as still as a rock for 10 seconds. And relax. This last mudra exercise and meditation uses a hand gesture paired with a visualization of Ganesha, a Hindu elephant deity known as the overcomer of obstacles. If you prefer another visual of strength, use what speaks to you. The core quality of this mudra is protection for new beginnings like this day or any project you can think of. It is helpful for balancing rest and activity to support planning, organizing, manifesting plans, and projects. I'm interlacing the fingers to the outside, and I'm extending the middle fingers forward, wrapping the index fingers around the middle fingers, placing the thumbs side by side, and they're joining or touching the middle fingers extended in the same direction, resting the wrists on the solar plexus. As you hold this mudra, attune to all the feelings and sensations awakened by this gesture. Notice the breath directed to the base of the body, abdomen, and solar plexus, grounding you while instilling energy and vitality, allowing the ease of vision and manifestation of life projects. Bring to mind a project you are planning or working on at this time. Each aspect of Ganesha will support the organization and manifestation of your project. Picturing Ganesha's large elephant ears, take several breaths to integrate the quality of careful listening, the ability to integrate advice from others while also attuning to the guidance of your own being. Be aware of Ganesha's great size. Absorb the power to overcome obstacles with ease, allowing movement along your journey. Focus on Ganesha's broad brow, taking several breaths to cultivate the discernment to both perceive opportune times to continue and when to explore other possibilities. With this enhanced discernment, open to receive the power of Ganesha's trunk, strong, flexible, allowing flow to work with others, but also the strength to upholding your own values and integrity. Visualize Ganesha's single tusk of concentration, mindfulness, endowing the one-pointed focus until the project is complete. Notice Ganesha's solid legs, one rooted in the earth and the other raised in meditation, reminding us to be fully grounded while aligned with our highest vision. Understand as the project progresses, stress may increase. Ganesha's big belly reminds us to digest all experiences, absorbing the lessons, the wisdom, and releasing all we do not need in order to conserve energy. Finally, visualize Ganesha as a whole. Embody this form, integrating all qualities, experiencing the energy of protection for this day, for this project. Take several breaths, resting in the strength of this mudra and the security. Returning slowly and gently, sensing the strength and support in plans, projects, and endeavors.